Welcome to the Reese Report. I'm the mouth of the North, Andrew Reese, and it's week 4 of the NFL season. I'm really fired up. I'm happy to be joined by Jose Carlos Gomes and a little late but better than never, Gil Bay Santos. You know, we were going to do the show yesterday, but Gil was a little heartbroken after his Green Bay Packers found a way to lose to the Cleveland Browns. And so we had to wait a day while he was in Orangeville crying to come back and do the show tonight, which is right before the Thursday nighter. Gil, what do you have to say about your Packers blowing a game to the Browns?
Well, it was going to happen. Was worried. Like we said, I have always said all year, Love is going to be the problem. The Packers are going to go as far as Love's going to take them. The
Yeah.
defense played well. Can't complain. The defense was there. And then it was just a big field goal block kind of week, as we all know.
Yep, no kidding. Wow. A lot of crazy games, guys, and we're going to go through them all and make our picks. The records are as follows. I am at 30 and 18. Jose and Gil are both at 29 and 19 after Jose went 9 and 7 and we went 8 and 8. It was week 3 and the crazy results have begun. So the NFL will humble you, and boy, did last week it humble us with some of these crazy results. Let's get to the Thursday nighter. As always, guys, like, subscribe. Um, I'm still at 698. I'm looking for 2 more people to get to 700. So please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get the show out there as much as possible. We're going to be giving you new segments. We're going to give you our 4 spreads lock of the week this week. And then next week, we're going to give you the fraud list, which is something new that I have come up with that we're going to be doing where we announce our frauds. I'm not sure if it's going to be three teams, 3 players, or three, a mixture of 2, but we're going to have our fraud list next week because week 4 is enough time to figure out who's a fraud in the NFL. But for now, let's get to our picks. And let's start with the Thursday nighter, which is about to start in about 40 minutes as we do this at 7:30 on a Thursday. The Seabags, who I did call a very tricky team this year, and they look that way because their new coach is coaching some great defense, and Sam Darnold is making enough plays. Sounds like the Vikings of last year. They go to Arizona to take on the Cardinals, who, as I correctly predicted, would find a way to lose to Mac Jones and my 49ers. They would find a way. Murray's throwing to Marvin Harrison, who's dropping balls wide open, and it leads to a field goal for Mac Jones, who looked like he was destroyed at the end of that game, but they found a way. 16-15. However, we'll get to the 49ers later. I don't know how much longer they can last. However, having said that, I will take the Seabags, as I believe the Arizona Cardinals, who you may hear from next week, are on the fraud list. Jose.
I'm going to take Seattle as well. They're playing good ball, good defense. Kenneth Miller Walker's running the ball pretty well for them, and they're doing their thing, and they're keeping themselves in the game with their defense. So I'm going to take the Seattle as well.
Gil, I wish I had Kenneth Walker, but you have him in fantasy. Might have to make a trade later. Gil, who do you got?
Yeah, I think with Connor out there for Arizona, that's hurting them a lot.
Yeah.
Seattle's defense can hold them. It's going to be one of those where just Seattle's defense holds a drive or 2 more than Arizona's. So I think Seattle should win this one.
Yeah, tricky division game, but I think the Seabags, that division is going to get really interesting with the Rams losing last week and now Seattle at 2-1 and the 49ers somehow 3-0 and barely hanging on with see if they have enough players to play with this week. Let me just double check this. This is the Sunday morning game. Does anyone know where it is? I'm checking right now.
I think it's in London.
Okay, is this in London?
Yeah.
So we have the international series.
The Steeler game?
Yeah, the Steeler game. We're going to Croke Park in Dublin.
It's in Ireland.
Yeah, Dublin, Ireland is where we're going.
It's in Ireland, yeah.
Becky Lynch land, and, Conor McGregorville, okay? So Minnesota is playing Pittsburgh in Ireland. Don't ask me why. The Pittsburgh Steelers, despite playing awful last week, found a way to beat New England as their defense came alive and got 5 turnovers from a ridiculously turnover-prone Patriots team. Minnesota, I was dumb. I should have known better. Their defense showed up and just absolutely gave it to Browning and the Bengals, setting. I predicted last week there would be a fantasy record for defensive points. Well, I got the game wrong. It wasn't Green Bay, it was Minnesota, who had 32 fantasy points on defense last week. Having said that, Aaron Rodgers can't move. He threw 2 picks last week. He got sacked, and Minnesota's defense is going to be all over Aaron Rodgers. They played Aaron Rodgers last year, and they beat the Jets. And I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers are much different from the Jets. I got the Vikings and their defense somehow winning this with Carson Wentz not doing much. Yo,
I think you're wrong. I think the Steelers win this game.
okay.
I think the Steelers win this game. The defense stepped up. Vikings played a confused Bengal team without their leader. Um, they took advantage of that. Yeah, I'm gonna give them credit. They did what they had to do, but the Steelers are just a different beast. I think the Vikings. I don't know. Without like Carson, we might go. We might actually see the old Carson Wentz here. That's what I'm expecting from this game in Dublin. Probably gonna drink Friday night with the Dublin boys. And he's gonna be all smashed. You know, white guy with orange hair, right?
Yeah.
Fits the script there in England. I mean, sorry, Ireland.
Yes.
I'm gonna take the Steelers.
Jose, who do you got in this one?
Tough game to pick, but I'm gonna go with the Steelers as well. I think Minnesota last week playing at home, it was a different story with playing against Browning. Now they're gonna play against a better Steelers team with a good defense. I think it's gonna be a close game, a low scoring game, but I think Pittsburgh pulls it off.
Yeah, I'm not convinced the Steelers defense is good because New England moved the ball on the Steelers last week. They just kept turning it over. I still don't think the Steelers defense is very good. And if Minnesota's defense is as good as it's been all year, they're gonna get to Rodgers. So we'll see what happens. You guys could be right. Now let's get to the start of the 1 p.m. games. The first game is going to take us less than 1 minute to talk about as the New Orleans Saints go to the
Andrew,
Buffalo to take on the Bills.
Are
Sorry?
you taking the Vikings?
Yeah, I took the
What did you
Vikings.
pick?
I took the Vikings.
I want to take the Vikings.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I
I
didn't hear
said it.
you.
I said it earlier, but yes, I am
Yeah,
taking the Vikings. Now, as I said, we're not going to waste more than a minute on this game. As the New Orleans Saints go to Buffalo to take on the Bills, the spread is 17 and a half. I've got the Bills. Jose,
yeah, Buffalo.
Gil.
We don't have to explain ourselves, Buffalo.
No, this is a joke of a game, and it's going to be a beatdown. Next week, New Orleans plays the Giants. Watch out for Jackson Dart there, but we'll talk about him later. Now let's get to Tennessee, the Titans. Gil, I got to give you credit on this one. You couldn't have been more right. They are awful. But they're also playing another team that's awful. This, my friends, will be one of the lowest scoring games you will see all week. It's Tennessee at Houston. These are the two worst offenses in the NFL, and the Houston defense is really good. I think this game will be like 14-10, maybe. Um, as Tennessee will try to slow the game down and Houston can't score. I said last week Houston wouldn't go 0-3. They found a way to lose to Jacksonville because their offense is brutal. And it's time to start saying that it is CJ Stroud in that offense. Like they're just not any good. Um, However, they're at home, and I just cannot see any way they lose to Tennessee. So I've got the Texans. Jose.
Me too. Just based on their defense, that's it. I think their defense will keep them in the game, and they'll have a couple of drives here and there. But it's gonna be a shake game.
Yeah, this is a low scoring, ugly game. Not going to be on the red zone very much. Gil?
Yeah, Texas has. I don't see how they don't win this game. They lose this game, they're done. So they have to win this game. I don't see like they're at home. I think like they can't lose this game.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a clean sweep there. Now let's get to the Browns, who somehow found a way to beat Gil's Packers. Don't ask me how. The Packers let them hang around, and Gil will know all about this. When you let a team hang around, no matter how bad they are, if you let them hang around, they will bite you in the ass. It was 10-0 Green Bay forever in this game. And the Browns defense kept them in the game, and they got a block, and the Browns finally got the ball on the 4-yard line because for some reason Jordan Love decided to throw a ball in the middle of the field when his team, all they needed to do was they could have just kneeled and punted the ball. There's no way the Browns were going to score in that defense, but Love decided to take a risk, threw it in the middle of the field. and the Browns came back and found a way to win this game. However, their reward for beating the Packers is they get to go to Detroit. And my God, that is not going to be a fun game for them. I got the Lions. Yo.
Yeah, I got the Lions as well. The Gibbs, Montgomery. That's all I have to say. Brown, like it's hard to stop them, but Browns have good defense to keep them in as much as they can. So, it for spread wise, it's kind of maybe a little difficult, but yeah, yeah, the Lions should win.
Had this game been in Cleveland, I would have said maybe it's a letdown game. Last week, Green Bay was clearly looking ahead into the Dallas game, and that's what led to Green Bay taking the Browns lightly. But this game's in Detroit. Cleveland's defense is good, but Detroit had one of the most impressive wins of the year last year in Baltimore. Jose, who do you got?
Detroit's running on the offense is running on all cylinders right now. I don't think even that defense is going to stop them on the street. It's like they can run, they can throw. It's scary. They're scary good, and now they got Hutchinson back too, so that
Oh,
defense
man.
is even better now too. So yeah, I'm picking Detroit.
Jose, do they miss the coordinators at all now?
No, not at all. Because
No.
at the like, okay, Ben Johnson was making the calls, but it went all through their head coach. So he was the one who was making the final calls. So it's not going to change his fourth downs, his mentality and stuff like that. It's not going to change at all, man. They're still a solid offensive team, and now when they're getting healthy on defense, that's even more scarier than last year because last year they played. Remember, the Hutchinson was out for the season
Yeah.
when, and now he's back. So
I
he's a
mean,
good.
the way they sacked Lamar Jackson was beyond impressive last week. They were getting him from behind. Like he could not move Lamar Jackson.
Mhm.
Detroit was very impressive last week. Um, let's get to the Commanders, who we still do not know will have Jaden Daniels in the lineup. He's a question mark. Marcus Mariota played very well in relief, as we all predicted he would against a porous Raiders defense. They go to Atlanta to take on the Falcons, who Jose, you called it. You didn't take it, but you called it. It was a trap game, one of those weird games, and Carolina just blasted Atlanta 30-0. Um, I'm going to just go with Washington here. The Falcons, I don't know what the Falcons are. They fired their wide receivers coach for some reason. It's like, okay, we get shut out. Let's fire our wide receivers coach like it's their fault. Okay, because the receivers can't do anything. Penix was brutal. I mean, there's a lot of trouble in Atlanta right now. They got Bijan Robinson and nothing else going on right now. So I'm going to take the Commanders. Gil,
Yeah, well, that was embarrassing not scoring any points, wasn't it?
that was brutal.
Yeah, we got to go. I think Mariota actually is played well. He gives that throw, run. Yeah, he played well last week as well. Atlanta, they look lost. They're pointing fingers at each other. Um, Everybody probably says it's a bounce back game for them. I don't see it. I think Washington.
Yeah, Mariota's going back to Atlanta where he played a couple of years ago too. Jose.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Whether it's Daniels or Mariota, Washington's a better team, so I'm gonna take Washington.
All right, to what I believe is the best 1 o'clock game of Sunday, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles, who were down 26-7 last week and finally decided to get the ball to Jalen Hurts and see what this offense can really do. And I feel bad for Jose, who dropped Devonta Smith in fantasy. They absolutely just destroyed the Rams in the second half and came back to win that game. They go to Tampa Bay to take on the injured Tampa Bay Bucks. We've seen this story the last couple of years. The Bucks get off to a good start, then they get a massive amount of injuries. Mike Evans is out. Godwin may or may not come back. They have injuries on the offensive line. They may or may not get Wirtz back this week. Tampa Bay is the last team to beat Philadelphia, and that's 18 games ago. However, I just think they have too many injuries, and I think Philadelphia is going to win this game. I got the Eagles. Jose.
Uh, Whether they're healthy or not healthy, I was gonna take Philly no matter what. Philly's team right now, they're just let the man throw the ball.
Yes.
They're too much on the passing game, on the running game, and everybody's stacking the box. Let the man throw. They have good wide receivers out there. You see what happened last week when they threw the ball around. They were offensively moving the ball solid. So that's another threat on their playbook. And I think with the injuries with Tampa Bay, it's gonna haunt them this week, and so and especially against Philly. So I'm taking the Eagles.
I mean, we saw it in the Super Bowl last year. The Kansas City stacked the box, they stopped Barkley, and Hurts just destroyed them all over the field. I think that there's this belief in not just the Eagles locker room, but all over the world that Hurts can't play the position. And I'm like the guy can play the position. He's been doing it for 2, 3 years now. Like he was an MVP candidate not long ago. I just don't get the way that they run that team. And by the way, the Madden curse is real. I mean, Saquon Barkley's on the Madden cover. He can't run the football anymore. Like this is getting ridiculous. How this Madden curse is legit. Gil, who do you have in this one?
Well, Andrew, for me, it's like this. If Baker Mayfield wants to win the MVP, this is the game he has to win.
Oh, you got
This
that
is the
right.
game he has to show, and I'm gonna take him. I believe in him, and I think he's gonna be focused for this game, and I think he's gonna take Bucks to success, and I think they're gonna win. I have a feeling that the game's gonna just go wrong for the Eagles.
Yeah.
I
I
picture it's
don't.
one of those AJ Brown only has one catch, or
He's reading a book on the
Barkley gets
sidelines.
stuff. Yeah, stuff like that. It's gonna be one of those.
Yeah, I mean, if Tampa was healthy, I would take Tampa Bay in this game because they beat them last year 33-19 and Baker just destroyed them. But I just think there's too many injuries now. They lost another two guys in the offensive line. I mean, Baker has a bicep injury. Like they're really, really injured right now. But if Baker does win this game, I believe he vaults to the top of the MVP list because after Lamar Jackson, lost last week, they dropped to 1-2. That leaves Allen and Baker. So we'll see. I mean, it's and Indiana Jones. I don't want to, Barbosa already told me mention Indiana Jones in the MVP race for God's sakes. So there you go. Okay, Barbosa. Let's see how long he lasts. Let's get to Carolina, who I mean, I don't know. They won 30-0 last week, and I still don't know how. They go to New England to take on the Patriots, who should have beat Pittsburgh last week, but they turned the ball over 5 times. Ramondre Stevenson should not see the field again. The guy just drops the ball. They didn't get hit, and he just drops the ball. It's just they're just a team that just turns over and turns over and turns over. Um, I gotta believe at home, especially if they're gonna be somehow a playoff team, they got to win this game. I don't think they're a playoff team, but I think New England beats Carolina at home. Gil.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Patriots D will hold up. They're at home. Drake May is not playing. He's having a pretty good season. I think they'll win at home. They
I
should
think
they
Drake
should pull
May.
this one off.
I think May played better than Rodgers last week, and they just found a way to lose that game. They outplayed them, and they turned it over. They gave the game away. Jose,
Yeah, give me the Patriots at home. I think Carolina's game last week was, like I said, was one of those sleeper games type of thing. But this week they're gonna get a little dose of reality, and the New England Patriots are gonna win.
well, the Russell Wilson era is over, boys, and I think his career is over. The Giants, after an embarrassing, I would even say it was embarrassing. Their defense played well, but their offense was atrocious. And Russell Wilson was throwing balls off the goalpost, and he was throwing balls into the locker room. And they finally said, "Enough's enough. Let's get the kid in." Jackson Dart will start for the G-men. They're playing, and his reward is playing the Chargers at home, who are 3-0 and look really good on both sides of the ball. Um, Gil, the kid is in. I like this kid a lot. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. I think the Giants need a new coach, and they need an offensive coach who can get in there and help this kid be better. But how will Dart do, and who's your pick in this game?
I think Dart will do okay. It's not good that he's going to play a hyper Charger team. I think the Chargers are running pretty good too, and I think the Chargers are going to win. I just think Dart, he's going to get his first game. I just hope he doesn't get 2, 3 picks for his confidence, but I don't see him upsetting the Chargers.
He can't be worse than Wilson, though, Gil, is what I mean. He can't be any worse.
No, I that's what I'm saying. Like I'm just
Yeah.
saying he's not upsetting the Chargers.
No, I think next week is the game Dart comes out and shows you what he's made of when they play New Orleans at home, I believe. That'll be the game. But this is the tester. This is to see what he is. I think it was a good idea to start him against a good team at home. Jose?
Listen, man, this New York Giants team, they could have Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen back there, quarterback. They're not going to win a game without offensive line. Okay, I'm telling you, that offensive line is brutal, brutal. When Jones was there, when freaking Eli Manning was there, buddy, it's a disaster, and it still will be a disaster. And then you expect this kid to what to perform miracles? Trust me, this kid's not going to perform miracles, especially the first game against the Chargers. I'm telling you, this kid's going to get hurt. I won't be surprised if he gets hurt. But God forbid, he doesn't get hurt and he plays well. But I don't see them being the Chargers. I'm taking the Chargers, especially with
Well,
that defense that they have.
yes.
I don't see them doing anything good. The Giants need to fire the coach, need to upgrade that offensive line if they want to do anything in the future, man.
They have some weapons. A lot of people thought the Giants would be better this year. I was one of those people who did not think they were going to be better, and they are horrible. I like this kid, Jackson Dart. I think he's a good dual threat. I think he's going to be a decent quarterback, but it's not going to start this week. The Chargers are looking like a Super Bowl team. I don't think they're going to lose to the Giants. I will say that I think Dart might surprise them because they don't have any tape on them. And so I think he'll have an okay game. I don't think they'll score 9 points like they did last week. But this Charger team they look like a team of destiny right now. But we'll see what happens. But I've got the Chargers as well. Now let's go to the Miracle 49ers, Jose. Yes, indeed. The 49ers, nobody knows how, but they're 3-0. They got a last second drive from Purdy the first game. I don't know, they allowed a safety and somehow got a field goal to come back and win last week. And they managed to beat the ugly New Orleans Saints. Now, I said before that this is by default. They have the easiest schedule in the NFL, and they have beaten the easiest schedule in the NFL. And guess what, Gil? Guess who they get this week? The most overrated quarterback in the NFL who will 100% be on the fraud list next week, and that's Trevor Lawrence, who can't even throw to Brian Thomas right. So guess what, guys? Purdy's back this week. We lost Nick Bosa, which is a killer. We still have Salah coaching. And with Purdy back, I got the 49ers again. Jose.
Yep. Um, they'll replace Nick Bosa. I think they'll make a trade or sign somebody.
It's a big loss, Jose. Big loss.
Of course, it's a big loss. But
Yeah.
last week, you could see that the rookies, Michael Williams, and freaking the with Huff, buddy, those kids can play, and they're letting the kids play, and
And
they're
Salah can coach.
yeah, of course, and that's the difference. I told you last year when we were talking about this, they need a defensive coordinator, and Salah, thank God, Salah, the Jets fired Salah, and now he's a 49er, but they'll be fine. I think they'll beat the Jaguars. Although they're humble, they're injured. I don't know what the hell's going on with this team, man. I don't know if it's a curse. I don't know if it's the strength and nutrition coach fire his ass or whatever they're doing. I don't know. Every single week, somebody seems to get hurt. But hopefully, they're about to get Kittle back in a couple of weeks too. Everybody's pretty supposed to come back this week, so they should beat the Jaguars at home.
Jose, do it with me right now. You got some wood near you?
What's that?
You have some wood near you?
Yeah, man.
All right, let's knock on wood that Christian McCaffrey, who's the only, let's say, I hope he doesn't get hurt. He's the last say the guy had like 10 catches last week from Mac Jones, so let's hope he stays healthy. All right.
And Mac Jones got hurt at the end of the game.
I know.
He had a knee brace. It was unbelievable.
We're hanging on by a thread right now.
Yeah.
Gil, I know you're not taking Goldilocks.
No, I'm not. But I don't know. It's a very tricky game.
Yeah, because the
I just
Jaguars
don't believe
defense
in
has been
Goldilocks.
good.
That's all.
Yeah.
And that's what's gonna probably give the Niners a problem.
The
Yeah, I'm
Jaguars
gonna take the
defense?
Niners, but it's no, I think 49ers, but I think it's gonna be this is a field goal game. I'm telling you right
Oh,
now.
it's going to be low scoring field goal game. I don't have any doubts. Not gonna be any blowout or anything. But the problem right now with the Jaguars is Trevor Lawrence. They got a great running game. Their defense is good. There's no excuses. He's got weapons. He can't throw the ball to Brian Thomas. They're not using Travis Hunter at all in the offense. He's completely lost because they haven't picked a position for him. So this is on Trevor Lawrence, the Jaguars right now. The way they're losing games. But hey, Gil, you got this one right. All right, let's get to Indiana Jones and the Colts. They won again last week, and they only punted once. Jonathan Taylor continues to write his opportunity to be MVP this year because he's been the best running back in the league so far. Jones was great again last week. They go to LA to take on the Rams, who found a way to blow one to the Eagles, a game they should have won. I think this is the week it ends. I think the Rams are winning this game. I don't think the Colts are going to LA and beating the Rams. Now, I'm worried about Devontae Adams because he's got a hamstring, but apparently he's going to play. But my God, the Rams, that they better win this game after blowing that game to the Eagles. But I'll tell you what, the Colts look great, but I just don't see them winning in LA. Jose, I know how much you hate the Colts, but even you got to admit they've been very impressive this year.
They've been impressive and they've been lucky too.
Yeah.
But in saying that, I'm gonna take Indy in this one. I just
Wow.
I like the way they're playing. Buddy, Daniel Jones is not a bad quarterback. If you give him time and he's got a good offensive line, he's got Taylor. It opens up the passing game for the wide receivers, and their defense is one of those sneaky good defenses in the league. So in saying that, I'm going to take Indy this week against LA.
Wow. Okay. Gil, are you on the Indiana Jones crusade?
No, I'm taking the Rams. The Rams should win this game. Um, it's gonna be tougher. They're gonna rely on Taylor, but I think the Rams all around that home will pull this one off.
The key to Indiana Jones is the play action. And that's why he's had guys open and he's had a lot of time. With Jonathan Taylor running the ball the way he is, it really helps protection and it helps Indiana Jones
And
have the time that he
and
needs.
what's the weakness of the Rams? It's the play actions. When every
Yes.
time they play that, that's why
Yeah.
and that's why I'm picking Indy in this.
So,
But
I mean, I'm hoping the Rams can keep up with them offensively. I like their run game a lot, but you're right. This is going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be easy at all. But just taking the home team in this one. All right, now to what I believe will be the highest scoring game of the week, the Chicago Bears, who found a way to beat Dallas after CeeDee Lamb went down. Dak Prescott had his second game of the year where he had no points in the second half, two interceptions, and they just pulled him because he was so useless. They go to Vegas to take on the Raiders, who, I mean, my God, they just got annihilated by a backup quarterback last week. Two horrible defenses. But this is the game where I think Austin Genty has a career game. I believe they're going to run the football. I think he's going to have a field day against that Chicago defense, who has been awful all season. I think Geno Smith will mix in some play action, and I think they get the win against the Bears. I think the Bears just beat a bad Cowboys team last week. I'm still not convinced they're any good. They had a few flea flickers last week that made Caleb Williams happy, but I got the Raiders in this one. Gil?
Yeah, I agree with you. Raiders should have a good game. They're at home. Run the game helps. I see Gino play action. Get Jacoby Myers, Bowers. Bowers been catching a lot too. And the Bears are just gonna do what they do best, and that's cough up the ball, screw up. The Bears away, they're horrible. I think Vegas wins this one. I agree with you.
Jose?
I don't know, man. This one's tough to pick, man, because they're two inconsistent teams. You
Very.
can't you can't say that the Bears are good because they beat up a shit defensive team in the Dallas. Vegas is an up and down team too. One week Geno Smith plays good, the other week he does the throws 3 4 picks. You don't know which Geno Smith you're gonna get. But in saying that, I'm gonna take Vegas. They're playing at home. I think last week's defeat is gonna lit a fire under them, and they're gonna come back and bounce back in. And I'm gonna take Vegas.
Austin Genty, I know you'll never hear this, but if you're listening, you're the only person that's a problem on my fantasy team. Wake the fuck up. It's the goddamn Bears, okay? They suck. You need to wake up and run the ball good this week, okay? All right. You got Pete Carroll as your coach. He likes to run the football. I know Chip Kelly's a disaster, likes to pass all the time, but Pete Carroll had freaking, the guy who doesn't want to get interviewed, and he was running the ball all day. This is your chance, kid. Show up. Otherwise, I'm trading your ass. All right. Before we get to the four main games of the week, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back on the report with Baltimore, Kansas City, Green Bay, Dallas, Jets, Dolphins, and Bengals, Broncos. Four games we're going to need to spend a little time on. We'll be back in 2 minutes on the Reese Report. Don't go anywhere, guys. All right, welcome back to the Reese Report. We are back to make our last four picks of the week 4 of the NFL season. We're also going to give you our lock spread picks coming up. But let's get to the game of the week at 4:00 as the Baltimore Ravens, who are now 1-2, and their defense is an embarrassment to football. My God, Detroit just ate them alive last week. And the reward is they get to go to Kansas City, a team that they haven't beat in 4 consecutive matchups, but as a team that is also struggling at 1-2. One team has a horrible defense, one team has a horrible offense. In those situations, I typically take the defense, and because Kansas City's at home and they own the Ravens, I'm taking the Chiefs. Jose.
I'm gonna take Baltimore. Last year they should have beat them. If likely didn't step out of bounds. I think it's gonna be a bounce back game after getting rocked at home. Um, they're all around better team than KC, especially offensively. Derrick Henry will have a nice field day this week for fumbling the ball, and I see them pulling up the win on this one. Me Baltimore.
Gil?
Yeah, I agree with Jose. I'm going to go with Baltimore. I just think the Chiefs will not match Baltimore's points for point. They're going to struggle matching them there. And yeah, I just feel like, yeah, Baltimore's defense does not look great either. But yeah, I just think the Chiefs are not going to match points for point here. I'm going to take Baltimore.
Yeah, I don't blame you guys. That Baltimore defense is so bad that I have trouble taking them, but you guys could be right. Now let's get to the other game of the week, which is on Sunday night. We talked about the Packers. The Packers looked past the Browns last week because they've got a game in Dallas this week, which is the Micah Parsons revenge game. I believe this is going to be a beatdown of epic proportions. I think you're going to have the Dallas Cowboys cheering for Micah Parsons. I think they're going to be laughing at Jones, and they're going to be booing their own team. And this is going to be a beatdown. It's not going to be a fun day for Dallas at home. And I think Jerry's going to lose his mind after the game. And Green Bay rebounds off their embarrassing loss to the Browns and just beats down the Cowboys. Gil, this is your team. They had an embarrassing loss last week, mostly because of Jordan Love turning the ball over and their offense not getting going against the horrible Browns defense. But now they get to face the worst defense in the NFL. What do you got?
Well, I got the Packers. I think there's gonna be a horrible day for Prescott. Yeah, the Packers D is gonna be very hard.
No
He already
CeeDee
struggled
Lamb.
against the Bears. Yeah, there's no Lamb. Like Packers should win. Um, Also because I think the loss to the Browns left a sour taste in their mouth. So I think this is like a big rebound game, and I have a feeling Dallas has no idea what's hitting them.
Oh, man. Jose?
I agree with you guys. It's gonna be ugly. I think hopefully Dak Prescott doesn't get hurt because if he's gonna get blitzed and sacked as many times as he did against Chicago and stuff like that, imagine with that defense with Micah Parsons on top. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. I think he's gonna get pulled after the second quarter. Never mind. Save him for the next game.
Okay, we're gonna see Joe Milton. All
Yeah.
right, we're all on the Packers. We'll get to that game after we make our picks. The New York Jets on Monday night, as we're having a double header on Monday night. The New York Jets, who Aaron Glenn was very passionate in saying is not the same old Jets, and I tend to agree with him. They played two really good games that they lost by 2 points to Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh. They played a stinker against the Bills, where Justin Fields had a concussion. Tyrod Taylor did okay, as did the Jets defense. They came back. They almost beat the Bucks. They're going to Miami to take on a Dolphins team who also put up a really good effort against the Bills. Could have won that game if not for a couple of bad penalties and another horrendous pick by Tua. I have no idea who to pick in this game, so I'm going to go to Jose first. Who do you got?
I tossed up a quarter and it gave me heads. So no, I'm gonna take the Jets, man. I just think the Jets have, I don't know, more big name players, and man, like last week they came back and they played well against the Bucks team, and I think with Tyrod it gives them a throwing option more than Justin Fields and stuff. I just don't trust Tua. That Miami defense, I don't know, man. They don't even have a defense there. I don't know what the hell is going on with that
They
team.
played okay last week, though,
Yeah,
Jose.
they played well. Yeah, of course, but that's to expect. Like they're not gonna every single week they're gonna stink up the plate. You know what? Ah, man, this game is tough. Um, yeah, I'm gonna take the Jets. I don't know. Give me the
Yeah.
Jets. Give me the Jets.
Gil, as you flip a coin for this one?
No, I'm taking the Jets. To me, I still think Tua's concussed. I don't know why he's out there. He looks he's running for his life.
So if we have Tua
He
against Field,
like
it's two concussion quarterbacks.
yeah, but Tua, I don't think I don't think he's the same ever since the
No.
twitching arms and the hands and stuff.
Yeah.
He hasn't been the same. You can tell he's not the same. They need a new quarterback, not just because of the injury.
No, they do need a new
I don't. I just
quarterback.
don't. I don't feel.
Yeah.
I just feel like he's not the same.
Yeah.
And you can tell Tyreek Hill's frustrated.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with the Jets.
Uh, I'm going to take the Dolphins. I wrote down the Dolphins. I'm not going to change my mind. The Jets have done well this year. I did think they would play better offensively this year, and they have, outside of the Bills game. Um, but I just gotta like the Dolphins. Like I liked what I saw from the Dolphins last week against the Bills. That's the only reason I'm taking the Dolphins. I really thought they had momentum in that game, and they had a stupid running into the kicker penalty, or they could have won that game. And so I'll take that momentum and think, okay, they're still playing for their coach, even though he's on the hot seat. That gave me a little hope for the Dolphins. And I think at home they'll find a way. It'll be like 3 points or an overtime or something. Nothing. I think he'll have a good game as well. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll take the Dolphins. And now to the next Monday night. Now we're not going to waste too much time on this game because it's Cincinnati and they're going to Denver to take on the Broncos. Like the Jake Browning goes from playing the Minnesota defense to the Broncos defense. I don't know what he did to people, the NFL football gods out there, but this guy comes in and he has to face the Jaguars defense, which is one of the better defenses, throws 3 picks. Then he's got to go. He got next week. He has to play the Vikings, and they are just picking up fumbles. They're picking them off, and now he's got to go play the Broncos defense. Like this is the worst quarterback run of teams I've ever seen. I got the Broncos. Gil.
Yeah, so do I. I think Versdy's gonna hold them, and Bo Nix will do his thing and get those touchdowns and win.
Have you ever seen a worse run for a backup quarterback, Gil?
No,
And by the way,
pretty
guess
bad.
who?
Yeah,
Get
pretty
guess
bad.
it's gonna get worse for Browning. Guess who they play next week? The Lions. Holy jeez. Vikings, Broncos, and Lions. My God. Jose, who do you got?
Oh, give me Denver. I won't even say anything, man. Brown. I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for Jamar Chase. And man, it's gonna look ugly in Cincinnati. if they don't fix that defense is horrible too. And what are you gonna do? It's football.
Okay,
That's the way it is.
guys, I'm gonna do this because I didn't realize how bad it was. So the Bengals played the Vikings, they played the Broncos, then they played Detroit next week, and after that they go to Green Bay. Like this might be the most murderous road schedule I've ever seen. Poor Jake Browning. I mean, this is brutal. He
No
may not.
wonder.
He's not. I mean, this
No
is.
wonder Joe Burrow pretended he got turf toe
Yeah.
in surgery. Perfect timing.
Bro's like, I'm out of here. I got a toe injury. I'm not playing
Yeah,
against this schedule. What the hell?
exactly.
So, good luck, Jake. Not looking too good for you there, buddy. So those are our not against the spread picks, and now we're going to go to our picks against the spread. Um, I have four. Jose has four. We'll let Gil. I don't know if he has four yet, but we'll give him some time while we're making our picks. But I'll give you my four, and then we'll go to Jose's four, and then we'll go to Gil's four, so it's nice and in a row. Okay. Um, so let's start with my first pick. I have them down here somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the Packers. I'm just going to get the official spread so that there's no cheating here, just so everyone knows. Uh, as I said before, the Packers are going to absolutely annihilate the Dallas Cowboys. Amazingly, the line's only 6.5 right now. I would jump all over that line and take Green Bay. The last time they played, when Micah Parsons was in a Cowboy uniform, Green Bay absolutely destroyed the Cowboys, and it's not going to be any different today or on Sunday night. Gil, hopefully we can watch it together and have a laugh. But I got Green Bay minus 6.5 to win in Dallas, and I hope Gil agrees, but we'll find out from him very shortly. Then I'm going to go to the Philadelphia Eagles. This is an injury pick. I love Tampa Bay, but I just think they have too many injuries. The Eagles are currently 3.5 point favorites. I think they'll go to Tampa Bay and win. But Tampa Bay will be fine once they get healthy. Um, yeah, I'm also going to take the 49ers with Brock Purdy coming back and Christian McCaffrey healthy. I think they go and they beat Jacksonville at home. The 49ers will go to 4-0. They're -3 right now. The 49ers are trying to survive their schedule. If they can go to 4-0 and then play the Rams next week in a game they might lose, I think they'll be in good shape. Or hopefully the 49ers can get just healthy enough with a good record to scare some teams, but I think they won't have any trouble beating the Jaguars at home. And finally, the Denver Broncos on Monday night are a 7.5 point favorite over the Browning-led Bengals. And despite the fact that I think Bo Nix is struggling a little bit, the Broncos defense is just going to take care of the Cincinnati Bengals. I feel bad for Higgins and Chase. I wonder if they're going to ask for trades after signing their big contract, but the Broncos by 7.5 over the Bengals. Those are my four picks. There are more I could take, but I wanted to leave it to four. The Bills should win by 15.5 over New Orleans too, but I didn't put them on my picks. Jose, who's your four?
My first one is Baltimore covering the 3.5. Sorry, covering the 2.5 against KC. I like them to
Yes.
win that game.
So
Um,
Baltimore's -2.5, just to
yeah,
be
minus
fair.
two and a
Yes,
half. Yeah.
minus.
I like Indy covering the 3.5 against the Rams.
So Indy +3.5. Okay.
Yeah. I
Wow,
like
that is a good one. +3.5. Wow.
I
Okay.
like Philly covering the 3.5 as well. I think too many injuries for Tampa Bay. And my last one, I like Tennessee covering the 7.5 on the road against Houston.
They are officially a 7, so I'll give you
Okay,
-7.
7.
Wow, you like the Titans to cover, eh? Well,
Yeah,
it's not
those
like Houston's
divisional
any good.
games.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
mean,
And they're struggling to score points.
yeah,
And so be it. So
yeah.
I don't think they're gonna beat them by more than 7 points.
Tennessee actually went to Houston and won last year, so it's not a stretch. Maybe Cam Ward has a game. Gil, four spread picks. Do you have them for me?
Yeah, my first one, I'm obviously going to take the Green Bay Packers. I think that's going to be horrible for Dallas. I think I take Green Bay 6.5. My second pick, I agree with Jose. I think the Ravens -2.5 in KC. I think that's a field goal win or more for Baltimore there. I actually have tonight's game, Seattle on the 1.5.
Yeah, I'll just
And
take your word for it, 1.5, because the game has started.
so, yeah,
It was one and a half.
Okay.
The Steelers on a plus 2.5.
Steelers plus 2.5. Okay, guys, we'll give you an update on our records next week for those. Those are 14 parlays maybe. Make yourself $600 on Bet365, that sort of thing. But for those who don't tune in for the not against the spread, this is against the spread. Try to make some money. We gave you some over-unders as well in the middle of the show. As I said to you, I believe that the Bears-Raiders game is a massive over, and I think that the Tennessee game is a big under, as well as Jacksonville-San Francisco. There's not going to be very many points in those games, so those are some games you can take advantage of as well. But that is our show. I'd like to thank Jose and Gil for coming on as always. We did our show a little bit later this year. Now we're going to go watch the Seahawks and Cards. I'm hoping to have a hockey preview. We'll see if we can do one. I've been thinking about doing a Leafs show with Jose and my dad. I haven't talked to Jose about this yet, but I will. Where we can do a Leaf review show on a Sunday after they play Saturday. Joe, I want to talk to Gil about his Devils, see what he thinks about his Devils this year. They need to get Luke Hughes signed. Gil, what's going on with your boys? They got cap space, not signing Luke Hughes. They don't want to piss off the Hughes brothers. They already talked about Quinn Hughes coming over. Hey, piss off Luke. You're not going to get Quinn. Come on, Gil. You got to have all three of them pretty soon. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk about that. I think Gil's got an interesting team there in New Jersey. So we'll see. And my Penguins are not worth talking about because they're going to trade Sidney Crosby and the rest of them, and they're going to be a lottery team. So I'm not going to talk too much about them. Kyle Dubas is a disaster, and my team's going to be a disaster as long as he's GM. So, I mean, there's nothing I can say other than Crosby. I hope you decide to go to Montreal, and I hope you go to the Olympics and you're a hero there because there ain't going to be much to celebrate in Pittsburgh right now. So, we'll talk about that. Yeah, we'll see. I'm hearing Montreal or Colorado, but we'll see. We'll see if we have some time to talk about that, and we'll eventually do a Champions League show. Jose, Gil, do you have an update? Is Mourinho the manager of Benfica now? Is that official?
Yeah, he's done. Yeah,
It's done. All right.
Yeah,
he already coached 2 games, and they won one and they tied one.
Okay. What do you guys think that's a good move? Do you think he's going to be there a while?
He's going to get fired by December. He'll get fired.
Yeah, it hasn't been a good run for Mourinho recently managing.
right.
But we'll see what
Mourinho
happens,
was Mourinho, and it's not because he's coaching Benfica, but Mourinho was Mourinho. He hasn't never adapted to the new soccer styles.
Yes,
and he's still living in his past soccer tense. He's a great coach to motivate players, but I don't think he's a good coach for the new soccer system right now. I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's why he's been getting fired everywhere he's go.
Yes,
everywhere he goes.
The special one has become the old one. Looks like. All right. So that's our show for the week. We will see you next week on the Reese Report, and don't forget to hit my music and subscribe. I need to get to 700 people. Okay. So, hook it up. All right. Take care, people. See you next week.